Big Boss Jock, my 750. Day 11 of the protest. El Poderoso, 750 kilohertz. AM en el radio. Soy yo, el gran jefe de los choques del discos. Radio Rebelde. Continuando con el día 11. ¿Cómo está? Décimo, docena, no sé. Día 11 de la demostración, protesta. Y sí, al frente de la oficina del F.B.I. Vamos a ver, m'esclare un peu du français. Aujourd'hui, je suis. Continuons avec le proteste devant l'officine de l'FBI. Du FBI. Day 11 of the protest, as I was mentioning before, the Kane, Ari's Burgers, Iquitos, Peru, the three agents that were on special assignment, they worked in coordination with Ari's Burgers. Cooperation, Ari's Burgers, in case you're not familiar, tons of cocaine. I reported this to the F.B.I. in 2000 and it was 2002. 2004. I reported it to Federal Agent Skeen. Then it was Federal Agent Reed at his side, I do believe. And didn't give him much mind other than their operation needed to move. And Ari's fortunes improved. He owns more hotels. Increased. His coffers sure did. Works in coordination with Don Pollo. And who runs the show? Don Pollo. That's where they cook the paste into chloro out in his galpones, chicken coops. Tons of it. 4 tons a month. They were transporting in 2002, trafficking from Iquitos, Peru to the Yankee States, distributing through the crime families. Before I mention the traffic comp family, there's others also. Many others. Yellow Belly Bush, Prescott's son, George, he took over the crime families. He was put on the ship in World War II specifically to start a feud with my grandfather, one of the founding members. I mean, he wasn't the founder, that's Meyer Lansky. He's right there at his side from the beginning. 1929, so not at the very beginning. Meyer was around doing it. He worked for Meyer, doing it, being a mobster. That's why part of the reason I'm out here, there was a big feud, and that's why I'm in the Stimosiever program. It was a feud by design to let my grandfather know who would be taking over. Yank Sam, U.S. government. Because Bush took that merger with Hitler. The breaking of the psyche, what they found inside the concentration camps, that was before the war was over. George, Prescott's son, was on the ship with my grandpa for the last days of his tour. He'd been on there. His assignment, what is it? 4 years. Bank robbery gone wrong. Him and 4 of his brothers, not on the same ship. I think one of his other brothers was. Hawkins brothers. And the FBI is aware of all this. And from what I understand, I got various family members that are high up in the intelligence community. DIA, CIA. Diane Hawkins was one of the 11 sub-directors. I believe there's 11 from 2000 to 2005. They have amassed great fortunes. She was a billionaire years ago. You'll understand now why that White House with a tunnel under it that looks as if it's a fortress, the one out there in the Ozarks, or no, in the Appalachians, the owner, CIA contractor, the shutters on the cameras on the satellites, that was his business. Claimed that he made $180 million, or was it $250 million from that corporation? That's just one front. That's so that he can have money. They make tremendous funds, fortunes, that they hide offshore. And this is what has happened to the reserve, the Central Reserve. The money fled out of here, out of the Yankee territory, there at the end of George Jr.'s term. The whole time he was in, the economy was being artificially inflated by people going in and taking seconds. Then they went and took thirds on their homes, and when they went to go get fourths, they said no more, and the whole thing collapsed. So during George's term, the masses, the public, stayed content because they had an abundance. Thing was, it was unartificially overvalued houses. Artificially. The artificial wouldn't be the word. Overinflated. Balloon that was going to pop. And it did. But the whole time George was in there, he was doing the job, and they were happy because they had money in their pocket for the majority. Maybe half. I mean, it was George Jr. We saw he reads books. The Silly Billy Goat. The show in front of us all. He was surprised, we know. He didn't have anything to do with what happened. We remember the expression on his face. He would have been better off being in the Oval Office that day. But we do know he reads books, the Silly Billy Goat. Hi. CCR has given us the remote, day 11 of the protest. Continuing on with the wandering remote. It is a radio show. I would have done more of piloting on the pilot on Big Boss Chalk Airlines. Can't get the ice. I'm on my feet. Yeah, go by foot. I'm on my feet. The car broke. I have no money. I've been doing this for 2 weeks. Walking. Public transportation. I can't afford the ticket. The bus ticket. No. I receive no pay. I need to pay the taxes on a house. Technically, I don't own them, but I do. I mean, I don't. It's complicated. It's in someone else's name, my nephew's. And that's what he is, bloodline relative. They'll find out. That's you, the listener. He took it from me. Took it back again and again and again. There was a bag of money in the house. It's a long story. Yeah. Him with the other family members, they took the money from the bag. In the house, technically it was his. And they had parties in the house, and I didn't understand. Their parties are interesting. They pound on the door, so they had a federal ID, U.S. federal ID, CIA, State Department, some of them, gonna take me back on the warrant. Gamma Ray didn't remember anything. They left again that day, or was it the night? And they did it again and again and again. Get on the Sonic, 4 hours down to Iquitos from this town. That's the Amazon basin, so there and back, 8 hours. They go there, they spend 6 hours, 8 hours, come back. That's what happened over and over. He was, as far as with the gamma ray off, no, he did it right. He donated it back to me. He didn't buy the house. I bought the house. I couldn't go there. I was on parole. He was doing a foreign exchange student program in Argentina, and he was living in Bolivia at the time. And I asked him if he could go to Peru. This was in '08. Put the house in his name. I gifted to him with the owners and gave him authorization to be his house. That I gifted him the house. So legally, it's his house. I owe his mom money. She overcame that and said, okay, he'll donate you the house back. I filed the paper at the public registries. Problem is, if I had put the house in my name, I'm still married in that country to a Peruvian citizen. That's in Peru, meaning she could take me to court. I could prove that I didn't live with her for 15 years, but at the same time, I never paid her any child support. So, but I did, see, and that's where the problem is, because every month Sue gets a $5,000 check from the Secret Service, and without my knowledge, she was giving my former wife, my wife from before, that I'm still married to, money every month. And they went on the Ellen DeGeneres show and talked how I was a deadbeat father. Didn't mention that I'm in the stim receiver program. Didn't mention, they mentioned one side of things, the jackets that Yankee Sam made for me. And they all went along. And I heard there was various family members. I've never seen the show. I wasn't aware that there was ever an episode that concerned me. Not until a couple weeks ago. They got a problem, the amnesia that they sexually assaulted into me, tortured into me. That's how they closed the doors. And they're opening once more by me accepting all the sexual abuse that they've done to me over my life, and it's not all of it, just time and time again. Any operation that I went on, sexual abuse before the operation, torture, electroshock, go on the operation, sexual abuse during the operation, torture, electroshock, pod, move along, do the operation, more sexual abuse, more torture, left at the same place where I'd been taken, usually either my bed or the dinner table. Taking a bite of food, put back there 3 days later, take the same bite of food, never knew I left. Same with the bed, went to sleep. I never had any missing time, no idea. And this has been my life. And this is the way they got away with keeping me a slave. I'm covered with bullet wounds. I had no idea for years. I got a bullet in there. Consciously, my first bullet wound was at 13 years old in Grenada. My second one was when I was 15 years old here in this town at 36. Grenada was an AK-47. These things are real. I can claim this. It is my body. They've taken everything from me. Everything. Well, no, of course not. I got my life and, and a few things that I have. Material objects. There's not a lot. And as far as the people, they went after everyone in my life. Most of all, they took my daughter. And they did it by attacking my wife the whole time she was with me. Since 1970, when I was born, there's 4 men without my awareness have been in my life, and one of them is always within 2 blocks of me. They're known as Delta Force in 1977. Before that, there was a group called the Crew that Corso led, Dave Corso. I knew him more as Larry when I was out on the jobs. That's his middle name, and all the special operas are trannies. That's how they do it. Dissociative identity disorder. They go by their middle names. Oftentimes. DID is known as the tranny disease. And that's what Yankee Sam does with the special operas. Breaks them down, builds them, rebuilds them in his way, their way, and that's the program way. They follow orders. People don't understand. Follow orders. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No. It's breaking of the psyche. Alter identity. They're not stem receivers. That's what is bothersome. I'm a perfect split. Meaning a perfect split, I could pass the polygraph. I didn't do it. And I didn't do it. I wasn't there. Okay, but my body was there and part of my mind was there. I had no idea. And that's what a perfect split is. Them, they're not a perfect split. That means they know consciously. They could tell me everything. It's right there. They choose not to. That's family members. As far as those four go, they would never tell me anything. I won't say never. Oh, they've been... their job in my life is to keep me a slave. So anything that I tried to do, they sabotaged. Sexual assault, gamma ray. Is going to be every day or how many times a day? Along with torture. What did I say? Did I remember something? Said the wrong word. 750 kilohertz. They're from next door at my door. Torture him once more. Sexual assault, torture. That's what the stem receiver program's about. They need to keep the victim traumatized in order to keep them enslaved in the program, unaware. This is what was done to me for many years. Big Boss Jock signing off momentarily. My 750. El Poderoso. 750 kilohertz. AM en el radio. Soy yo, el gran jefe de los jockeys del discos. Radio Rebelde. Firmando fuera.